Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Many people are asking about Om technique in Kriyayoga, Omkara Sadhana, Omkara Kriya. What actually we practice in Kriyayoga? In this is, first thing, chanting Om at different chakras. For some people, this is also not possible. So what a beginner, a neophyte, who has never done any practice, not able to concentrate, should do is take a long and deep breath. Inhale, long and deep. Then you exhale. Om. Again take long and deep breath. Then exhale. Om. While exhaling, you are speaking Om, simultaneously also listen to the sound of Om. Then what you will find, that there are vibrations in your body. Your body is vibrating along with the Om sound, and your mind will become calm. This is for very beginners who has not able to do any practice. But in Kriya Yoga, we don't teach that. Because generally those who come to learn Kriya Yoga, they have come across all these practices. So what here is done in the beginning? That is meditating with the sound Om, not saying verbally, but saying mentally in each chakra. And that is normally known as Nabhi Kriya in Kriya Yoga. In Nabhi Kriya there is a part, first part is a breathing part. Now after that breathing part, it is done as mentally chanting Om, starting from Manipura, then giving some time there, then coming to Anahad, then Visuddha, then Agya, then going down up to Muladhara, then coming up to Manipura, and then inhaling, coming to the Agya Chakra. So that has been described separately. So that is what a beginner does. Then we find some people are not able to do it mentally. Because while you will mentally chant Om, it should be rhythmic, as you are chanting verbally. And you should feel vibrations at your chakra along with the sound of Om. It takes some practice. Without a breathing practice, normally it is not recommended to do. So that is why in Nabhi Kriya first there is a breathing practice, then it is do. So this is what is started in Kriya Yoga. Then after that, there are techniques, which is also called Om technique, Om Kaushala. That is also called Nadanusandhana, Nada Yoga, Nada Shravana, Anhad Dvani Shravana. This is there. Then what happens here? These techniques is my own experience. I started doing when I was a student of class 8. Because at that time my father gave me a book of Swami Shivananda Saraswati of Divya Jivan Sangha of Rishikesh, a book called Essence of Yoga. And there I found, I was reading that book and practicing when I was a student of class 8. There was a chapter Nada Yoga. Then in Nada Yoga, after reading that chapter, I started practicing, closing my ears and listening to the sounds. That was from my early childhood. Then when I read the books, I found that this is described in Chandogya Upanishad, described in Mandukya Upanishad. But those what is described in Chandogya Upanishad and Mandukya Upanishad are mostly for the Vedantic scholars who are contemplating, who are mentally analyzing. That is good. They should follow what has been described in Mandukya Upanishad, read that, contemplate on that, or on the Chandogya Upanishad. But what coming to the yogic practice? Yogic practice is described in Hamsa Upanishad, in Nadabindoo Upanishad. These are the two main Upanishads. Also to some extent in Dvani Upanishad. There the techniques are given. So what we have to do? One has to sit in a cross-legged position, Siddhasana, then do the Sanmukhi Mudra. After doing the Sanmukhi Mudra, closing the ears, should try to listen the sound. That is what it has been described. So, normally, if you are not able to do that, just you can close your ears. Nowadays, people use earplugs. Medical earplugs can be used. But one thing, it must preceded by some pranayama. If it is not preceded by pranayama, then one cannot go into deep. Normally, the Kriyayoga teachers, they don't directly teach this technique, because it is said by the tradition of Gurus that Om Kaushala Hamsa Sadhana. If you practice the Hamsa Sadhana, and when you mature in Hamsa Sadhana, automatically, without closing your ears, you will listen the sound. Because your mind is calm, you can listen the internal sounds without closing the ears. As the technique described, that it is said, you have to listen through the right ear. But my own experience as I have gone, one can listen through right ears, also sound comes through left ears, sometimes from the middle at the Ajna Chakra. So as the scriptures describe, what happens that you have to sit in Siddhasana and then do the Vaishnavi Mudra. That is described in Nadabindoo Upanishad. Vaishnavi Mudra is nothing but Sambhavi Mudra, same cheez. That means you are here with your eyes open and ears open, not closing, hearing this sound. This is normally not possible if this sadhaka, the practitioner, is an advanced one. Only advanced practitioners can practice this way. Those who are not advanced practitioners, they can close their ear and listen the sound. But it must be preceded by some pranayama. In Kriya Yoga, if you want to practice this separately, practice after Hamsa Sadhana. Normally people practice for a longer Hamsa Sadhana, this technique will automatically come without closing your ears. So that is the rule. So how it should be done? It should be continuous. The sound must be continuous, like toilo dharavat, like the fall of the oil. When you pure oil will be continuous. It will not like water. There will be no discontinuity. The sound must be continuous. That is what described in Nadabindoo Upanishad. So what are the sounds they will come? These are mostly described in Hamsa Upanishad in a manner that first there should be the sound of like a honeybee, bumblebee. So the first sound is like that of a chin, 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 like this, the honeybee, bumblebee sound. Then there will be the sounds like that of a bell. Then the sounds will be like a conch. So you will have the sounds first, honeybee sound, chin, chin. then cricket sound or bumblebee sound, then there will be the bell sound, hand bell sound, then there will be sound like that of a conch, then there will be sound like that of a string instrument like a veena, then there will be sound of cymbals or big bell sound, then there will be the sounds of a flute, then there will be sounds of mridanga, the double drum, then there will be sounds of a big drum, kettle drum, big drum sounds, then there at the 10th there will be the sound of a thunderstorm. So 10 different sounds will come in this manner. This is described in Hamsa Upanishad. But in Nadabindoo Upanishad, the description is a little different. It has been different in 3 sets. They said first set of sound this, second set of sound this, third set of sound this. But actually, if you closely observe them, then you will find that these 3 set of sounds are actually in the reverse order that has been said in Hamsa Upanishad. But why I cite Hamsa Upanishad? Because my own experience is as described in the Hamsa Upanishad. As it is described in the Hamsa Upanishad, my own experience of listening to the sounds goes like that. And I understand that in Nadabindoo Upanishad the same is said, but in a reverse order, from the last one as bringing as the first one in 3 sets. So I don't think there is any contradiction between these 2 sets of books that is describing this yogic technique. Then it is said that one has to go from gross to subtler. Then when your subtler sound is losing, you are not going into the further subtle sound, you can come back to the gross sound. That means honeybee sound is the grossest one, then bumblebee, then bell, then conch. So in that way you will go from gross to subtle, gross to subtle. You can also in your practice return back to the previous sound, because all the sounds will not come. Most of the practitioners who do not practice deeply, do not go deep into their practice, they simply remain with the honeybee, bumblebee maximum up to the bell sound. They don't go further. But for that you have to sit longer, you have to practice Hamsa sadhana longer. That is why our tradition of Guru say that Om Kaushala Hamsa sadhana. Simple practice Hamsa sadhana, you will listen this. And this is what? This is nothing but your subtle prana. The pranic energy in the subtle world has taken the form of sound. Sound is the first creation, Om. Since Om is the first creation, though you are not, you are listening bell sound, you are listening flute sound, you are listening conch sound, all is called Om technique. But normally, for the clarity of the practitioner, it is called Nadanusandhana. Search the sounds, find out the sounds, Nada Shravana, listen to the sounds, Anhad Dvani Shravana, listen to the uninterrupted sounds, Nada Sadhana, practice of sound. These all come under Om technique. That is for a practitioner of little higher order. If for the beginners, you can inhale and exhale verbally with Om sound, or then you can chant mentally Om with your chakras, so that your chakras will be activated. So this is how in Kriyayoga one learns step by step the Om practice or Om Kaushala. One should learn it from his Guru in a proper manner. But I normally separately don't teach this, because I know if a practitioner is sincere enough and sincerely practicing Hamsa sadhana, automatically he or she will get this practice. It will come descend automatically. He don't have to separately practice it. Once automatically descends, then he can further continue with this practice and develop it into go into subtler and subtler sounds, and finally after the 10th sound, then there is paravastha. There is no sound, there is no thought. there is no movement, there is no ego. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.